Millie, when did you first come to Harlow?
1956.
And where did you come from?
Well, originally from Birkenhead, but moved to London when we got married.
Ah.
My husband was a Londoner.
Okay. So what do you remember about Birkenhead?
Oh, lots. Yes, I liked living in Birkenhead because it was right on the Wirral.
And the ferry across the Mersey?
That's right. And I worked in Liverpool. So that every day I either went by ferry across Liverpool or underground if the weather was bad.
So happy memories of Birkenhead?
Oh, definitely, yes.
And before we get to Harlow, do you still see yourself as from Birkenhead?
Yes.
Yeah. And so, and you said you worked. So what job did you have in Liverpool?
I was an office worker.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes, I used a sunblock adding machine.
Okay. So, what brought you? Was it your husband?
Yes.
So, where did you meet your husband?
He was in the RAF. He was stationed at West Kirby on the wall, and we went together for about 3 years before we were married. Married in Birkenhead, and then came to live in London because they kept his job open for him. So it was only fair to come back to London.
And what's your husband's name?
Arthur.
Arthur. So you came down to London?
Yeah.
Whereabouts in London?
Hoxton.
Okay, so...
Which is strange because I came from Oxton and Birkenhead. OXT away.
Oxton to Hoxton?
Yes.
Okay. Was that a big change for you? Being a...
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it hard or...?
Very hard.
Did you get homesick?
Yes. Yes, I did get homesick to a certain extent. But I was quite happy, really. Apart from the fact that we only had 2 rooms. And then, after being in a 3-bedroom house with my parents.
So 2 rooms in Hoxton?
2 rooms in Hoxton.
And was your husband working? Was he still in the RAF?
No, he was working then at a firm called Brooklyn Jackson.
So then the next big change, 56, Harlow, how did that come about?
Well, we had a 10-month-old daughter, and she was full of mischief. She was already very advanced. She was walking, and we had to prop the door up closed with a chair so that she wouldn't go down the stairs. And we felt that if you went to go to the toilet, which was right down in the basement, I had to carry her down 4 flights of stairs. And so my husband said, we can't carry on like this. He went to the council office and they said, you'll be lucky to get something in 10 years, never mind 10 months. So he said, well, I'll go to a new town. And so he came to Harlow. And the first firm he went into was Smith's Engineering, down up, I think it was West Road. And they took him on, so when can you start? So he was starting 10 days after the interview. And that's it more or less, and then he was only there a fortnight, and whilst asking if he could work overtime over the weekend, he said there's no trains coming from Liverpool Street. So he said, well, aren't you living in Harlow? Gerald's, the governor said to him, she said, no. She said, I haven't got a house yet. She said, go and get your housing for. We said, I want you here. So within a fortnight we were moving down here.
And where did you move to?
Sorry?
And whereabouts in Harlow did you move to?
Tilbury Mead.
Tilbury Mead?
Yeah.
Okay, which to anybody who doesn't know is in just near to where we are here in the Bush Fair area, Tumber Road area. And that must have been, what was that like? Is that...
Well, my husband said to me, do you want to come and see the house before we moved? I said, no, just move. So we came down on a Saturday, and the furniture removals man said, do you mind if we stop and have something to eat? So my husband said no, and they pulled up right up to the Sun and Whalebone. Well, we thought we still had quite a way to go, you know. And so they had something to eat, and then we got back in the car and the van. 2 minutes later, we were pulling up in Tilbury. But I walked in and I couldn't believe it. The living room was, I think it was either 12 or 14 foot long. Went through from front to back of the house. It was really marvellous. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, even when I lived in Birkenhead, we didn't have a bathroom. It was a very old three-bedroom house. So to come here, have a bathroom and all, marvellous. And we opened the kitchen door. We were talking, my sister-in-law was there with us. We got talking in the kitchen, making tea, etc. And all of a sudden we realised Lynn, our little girl, was missing. And all we could see was grass moving. She got out into the garden. The grass was about this high, It was really very. And my husband stayed with that firm nearly all the time. He did leave once because they were going to go on strike, and he said, I can't afford to go on strike because by this we had 3 children. So he went to another firm in Hainault. But as soon as the strike and that was over, he came back again, went back. Well, in fact, his boss from Smith's Engineering came and asked him to go back, so he came back. But it was great. We were paying less rent here than we did in London, for the 2 rooms.
And you kept your rent book?
Yes.
And was it £2.37 a week?
Yes, and that was with the rates.
Right.
I paid a shilling a week, I think it was, for something or other. I don't know what it was. But the water rates, 1 and 7 a week.
And you brought up 3 children, did you say 3 children?
Yes. 2 boys and a girl.
Okay. And did they enjoy living in Harlow?
Oh yes, yes. I mean, we only had the little girl when we came here. But they went to Perfect Green School, and then to Grays Grove. And her daughter went to Nottingham to college to be a teacher. But when she was only about 7, she wanted to join the Brownies, and the nearest brownie pack was at St Stephen's in Bush Fair. So I managed to get her into there, but I was talking to the brownie who took the brownies. I said I was interested, so I decided to be a brown owl, and I had opened 3 brownie packs actually in Green School. And I became commissioner for the Brownies and Guides. Mrs Jackman was one of our commissioners. She was district commissioner, divisional commissioner rather. And quite interesting. I really enjoyed that.
What was it enjoyed about the Brownies?
About the Brownies? Oh, helping them with to learn to do different things, and teach them how to sew buttons on, to knit. We used to go out, because you could go out there, there wasn't so much traffic, we'd go around all the different trees and everything, point out what the different trees were, the oak trees, sycamore trees and everything else. My boys used to come with me at the time because my husband was night work, so they used to sit in the library at the school, and we had quite a few outings. We went up to London to the zoo. It was a really good life.
And you found it a good place to bring up your children?
Very good, yes. Well, it was so clean and everything else. Where I lived in Tilbury Mead was almost opposite the field that leads into Perfect Green. And the children used to run across that field of a morning to school. And then suddenly one of them would come back and say, Auntie Bill, so-and-so's shoes in the ditch. They'd have to go down the field and fish the shoe out of the ditch. Because they all knew that if their mothers weren't there, they could go to another neighbour. You know, it was always auntie this and auntie that. We weren't afraid to let the children out. And then in the summer holidays, they used to have tents up on the field and have a little camp out there and bottles of water and some sandwiches and that, you know. It was quite interesting. Yeah.
Did you ever work, or was you busy raising the children?
No. I did eventually go to work. My youngest son was 10 when I went to work, and I worked in 4 boys newsagents. Mainly because one of the ladies in the shop had left, and they were in a bit of a fix because the manager was flat on his back. Stan Cowdery was flat on his back, his head was down, and he sent his wife across to me and said, would I help them out? So I said, well, I've never done shop work. Just come in and watch the kids when they come in from school, he said. So that's what I did, and I was there for about 20 odd years. Thought I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Good.
So I got to know most of the people around here, you know, because they came in to pay their paper bill and things like that.
And you're not, even Tilbury Mead is just across the road, you're now here at the sheltered accommodation. As people can hear from the hubbub behind you, it's a nice social scene here.
Oh, it's very good here. There's something goes on every day. Bingo, Tuesday's knit and natter. There's a group of us get together and do our knitting.
And you enjoy reminiscing about the past as well. It's nice to chat.
Definitely, yes. I'm always having a chat. Do you remember so-and-so? Or do you remember so-and-so who lived in such and such a number, you know? I enjoy it.